I joined your course hoping like maybe this guy can teach me how to work out better. Maybe I can get, the results I want in the gym. And here I am 12 months later, and like every single aspect of my life is better. Like every single aspect of my life, my relationships, my love life, the place I live, the place I work, like every single thing in my life has gone up 10x. And yeah, I mean, absolutely. I'd recommend this 1,000 times over. So that's what I did. I signed up. I said, I'll go. I jumped on a plane, and next thing I knew, I was shaking Dana White's hand, and you know, I was at the UFC Apex fighting for the UFC. So yeah.
Yeah. Would you say that this program that you have been in with me, does it help men to unleash their full potential? Because I always say that on social media, that I help men to unleash their full greatness and potential. But many men don't understand that because they have never seen their potential. Would you say this program helps with that, and why would you say so?
I would say it absolutely does. When I started your program, I had, no intention of being half of like being where I am now. I thought that, if I could, when I started your program, I thought if by the end of this year I could put on a couple pounds of muscle and, maybe make a little bit more money. I was like, man, that'll be a win. But like it's past expectations like 100 times. It's fixed relationships with my family, which I didn't join this program for that to do. Family and friends, it's fixed relationships. I wasn't expecting this course to turn me into somebody that people respect and things like that. It did that. It took away like pretty much any fear I could have. Like, I get up there and I fight full grown men. There's not much I'm going to be scared of anymore. I wasn't expecting that. Like, honestly, man, I thought that, of course, it's going to help you reach your full potential. Because like I said, any other course, they're trying to sell you a way to build some muscle. They're trying to sell you something. But you gave me more than I bargained for. I was just looking to learn how to build more muscle faster, man. And look at me now. So, yeah, of course it gives you your full potential.
Can you tell us a little bit about why did you join this program like 12 months ago? What was your situation that you have been in?
The reason I joined was I wanted to get more out of life. I wanted to be, I want to be more masculine. I want to challenge myself more. I want to take more risk. I just wanted to be better. So I joined this program, and it's done everything that, I wanted it to do for me and even more. It's not only helped me, it's helped, family members close to me. So yeah, from where I was 12 months ago compared to now, it's like night and day difference. I couldn't even compare them.
Awesome. Can you go into some details? For example, how did your body change? How did your mind change? How did your relationships change? And also, how did your work change? We can also go step by step through this if you want to.
Yeah. So I would say the biggest thing as far as how my mind changed was I learned like why the discipline is so important. Like I also learned about discipline is like a muscle, the more you work it, the stronger it gets. So when I joined this course, like one of your biggest things was, you can't touch your phone for 2 hours in the morning. And I remember thinking like, man, what is that going to do for anybody? Like, how would that help me to not touch my phone for 2 hours when I wake up? And then I did it, and like, I totally get it now. You win the morning, you take care of what you have to in the morning so you can win, win the morning, win the day. As far as my body, I used to I remember the first time I got a gym membership, I was in the gym for like 6 months, maybe 7 months, and no progress at all because I had no idea what I was doing. I was a young guy, so I should have been making progress, but like I didn't know how to work out, when to work out, what to eat, what not to eat. So your course, basically in, 12 months, I made more progress than I did, in, a few years before, just from you teach me about the nutritional things, what to eat, when to eat, teach me about fasting. I used to have no idea what fasting was. I used to think fasting was just like people not eating because of certain holidays or something, man. I had no idea. But then you taught me about fasting, and I see how it, works the growth hormones and things like that. And now, and I'm also able to like share the knowledge I get with my family members, and they find it helpful.
Awesome. Thank you so much. How did your work change? And I asked this obviously for a reason, because you changed when we started, you changed careers, and then you changed careers again, like getting into the UFC, but I don't want to spoil. Yes. Can you tell us a little bit about that, please?
When I first started, my work was I did restoration. I did mitigation, and I was definitely underpaid, undervalued where I was, even at that time. And I would like make excuses to myself of, like why I should stay there and things like that. And I was not making as much money as I needed to, and I still stuck around. And basically, I got my confidence up through this course. And, it only took about probably 3 months of this course to where I was able to walk into there one day and be like, I'm worth more than I make here. And there's better opportunities. And I took those better opportunities. And after that, things have just gone up and up. And mostly it's just because of like the confidence that I have in myself now. My job interviews, I used to be very nervous to go to job interviews, then when I switched to these, first time I had an interview with this new plumbing company who pays me twice as much as the other place used to pay me. Like my first interview, I was so confident. It was so relaxed. I felt like I belonged there. I felt like I believed everything I was saying because I did believe everything I was saying. So it just makes it so much easier, and it made them believe me. So yeah, I mean, my work has excelled, but I mean, it's just, I think if you join your program and you follow, your teachings and like what, you need to do, because it's tailored for everybody. It's not going to be the same for everyone.
Exactly.
But I think that if you can stay, do what you need to do on there, then it's not even just work or just body. Like no part of your life is not going to get better. Like, because you just become a better person all around. So everything is just going to improve.
When we talked before, you mentioned something that people, like your relationships change kind of. When you walk into a room now, people recognize you. They see you as a leader. Can you explain us a little bit about what that means for you today?
Yes, that is probably the most important thing is I remember before I joined your program, like if I was in a room full of people, especially if there's other men in there, I wasn't always the one that people were, looking at or listening to or giving attention to if, there's times somebody needs to be a leader or something like that. So I went from that to nowadays, just with the confidence I have in myself and always keeping my chest high and just knowing that, it's my job to be the leader because I'm a man. I walk into, anywhere I walk, I'm respected, like I walk into my office at work, I walk around my town, people know me. And I'm respected because of the way I carry myself. And I gotta say, that's the biggest thing. It's a great feeling to, when things are going wrong, to have everybody look at you, and like, how are we going to get out of this situation or what are we going to do? And, they're relying on you. It's like the best feeling in the world.
Awesome. And
it makes you feel like a superhero. And that's how a man should feel. You should feel like a superhero. You should feel like, it's the like responsibility and like it's like the best thing for you, and the more like little responsibilities you take on and you learn like that each time you're taking care of those and those smaller and smaller wins, like eventually the responsibilities that you're having are going to be responsibilities that you want to have because people are going to, put you on that pedestal of somebody to look up to.
How would you say has this course helped you to get into the UFC?
If I wouldn't have joined your course, I wouldn't have had the confidence to walk into a jiu-jitsu and boxing gym. It was something that had interested me in the last, I don't know, maybe 5-6 years. I was interested. I love watching UFC. I remember when I was younger, I'd always, think about going and signing up for a fighting class, even though I didn't know where to start. But I just never had the confidence. I was like, man, I'm not going to go in there and get my ass kicked. So your course gave me the confidence. I finally did it. I, hit up a friend of mine who's a champion in my state. And I was like, hey, man, like I want to train. I want to learn how to do this. And he had seen me in the gym every morning. He had seen me, seen that I was serious about wanting to get stronger and get better. So he was like, come and train with us. So we trained, and I was getting better and better and just getting my confidence up. And, the UFC called him because he already had connections with them and they knew about him. And they're like, hey, we need somebody who you think would be a good fit, somebody with, determination, somebody who would come and try out for this. So he referred me. And if I hadn't like gotten so much better in every other aspect of life, I wouldn't have had the confidence to even try this. I would have been like, no, but I was like, man, I've done so much. Like, what can I not do? You know, I was like, why can't I go there and make something out of this? So that's what I did. I signed up. I said I'll go. I jumped on a plane, and next thing I knew, I was shaking Dana White's hand, and you know, I was at the UFC Apex fighting for the UFC. So yeah,
Yeah.
making it number one ranked was probably a big one, but even bigger than that was being able to go and get a win when I was number one ranked, and get a knockout, you know, get a win the way I did. Because I remember when the rankings came out and I was at number one, I remember there was a lot of talk, like people not thinking I was deserving of that spot.
Mm-hmm.
So to come out and be able to, you know, win again and to win the way that I did and show people, you know, I belong here, I think that was probably a big milestone. But I think the most important part of all this is in my second fight when I got knocked out. I got knocked out pretty cold, man. It wasn't a good look. It was not a good look for me. And when I got up, like I didn't say like, man, I don't want to do this anymore. Like I got up and I want to come back and knock him out. So that's what this has taught me.
Would you recommend someone that is on the edge of talking to me, on the edge of joining this program? Would you recommend some man to join this program, and why would you do so?
I would absolutely. I would recommend it 1,000 times over. And the reason is, like I told you before, man, I joined your course. I joined your course hoping like maybe this guy can teach me how to work out better. Maybe I can get, you know, the results I want in the gym. And here I am 12 months later, and like every single aspect of my life is better. Like every single aspect of my life, my relationships, my love life, my, you know, the place I live, the place I work, like every single thing in my life has gone up 10x. And yeah, I mean, absolutely. I'd recommend this 1,000 times over.
Like greatness comes from never not doing the basics. And I think the fact that you're here today and you have all those wins collected in the last 12 months is just due to the fact that you did the basics every single time. You dropped your ego, and especially you made the time for it, because it's not about the right time, isn't it? It's about making the time. And I'm so proud of you.
It's about just doing it, like just taking a risk. And if you're a man, that's what being a man is about, is taking risks and, you know, doing what you have to do to better your life for yourself and for your family. So yeah, that's absolutely what it is, man. Just the time is now. Do it, you know, don't wait, because if you're waiting for the perfect time, you're gonna be waiting until you're dead, because there is no perfect time.